Steve, we got an exciting one on our hands. This is our first impressions of God of War Ragnarok, and just to be completely transparent, the embargo from PlayStation has us restricted on almost nearly everything on what we're allowed to talk about. So this will be probably a pretty short first impressions just due to the amount of restrictions. We're not allowed to talk about the characters. We're not allowed to talk about much past the first opening hour, I would say at this point. At this point, Steve, I'm 4.5 hours in and I'm having a fantastic time. This is everything I would expect out of God of War and then some. Within the first hour alone, I was not anticipating the emotional roller coaster in which I would experience, from the opening moment of being wowed with this huge sequence that gets you right into the game, to then 20 minutes after that pulling on heartstrings I never expected either. And it's been like this the entire time. The way they can flip on a dime and have you going from this energy pounding experience to all of a sudden almost in tears, kind of, and back and forth and all over the place, and the combat and man, there's so many things I would love to talk about. But the hype is real and it's there for a good reason. Steve, what's your first very early impressions of God of War Ragnarok?
Wow. I'm like you, about 4.5 hours in, and graphically it is absolutely amazing. The game mechanics, it's so responsive, it's so much fun, but I have to give big props as well to the voice actors. Yeah. Because with that story as well and the voice acting, out of this world.
Yeah, so far, like, this is just, it's, oh man. I'm very curious for the Game of the Year awards when it comes out, because this will be on a lot of people's radar. I know Elden Ring is going to be there, but this is definitely one that's going to be in the ring per se as well, because it's yeah, I wish there's so much more to talk about. That's the thing. And it is that responsive, like you're saying, with the DualSense controller, Steve. I'm having such a blast getting the Leviathan axe to kind of back in you. There's just so many other elements that go with it, right? Christopher Judd and the way his tone just brings this presence to it, and there's just so much to everybody knows Christopher Judd. Oh, there's so much. And yeah, the world is stunning. I think that's, you knew coming off of God of War 2018 that the world is beautiful, and then you get into God of War Ragnarok and it's just like I stop and just kind of gaze. I'm like, where do I look next? And then there's just so many other things, yet we're just not allowed to talk about, to the point we're not even allowed to show you footage. Like, that's the other side of it too. There is no gameplay because we're not allowed to show you gameplay. Just know what we have played so far is only the tip of the iceberg for what we're gonna have to be able to play here in the near future and be actually able to show you as well. So stick around. We won't be going too far because there's lots more God of War.